First, I'd like to welcome you to Vinery this morning, and really appreciate the effort so many people have made to be here. It's an amazing lineup of stallions we have throughout the valley, and to have so many people, part of the industry, come together to see the horses throughout the valley on all the farms is wonderful. Some of the best horses from Australia and from around the world are in the valley this year. But you're here to see the Vinery stallions, and we're more than confident that we've got everything that you want here. More Than Ready's side is 100th individual stakes winner last year. He's now up to 118, but he was the fourth youngest stallion in history to achieve this at the age of 15. He began his stud career being crowned champion first season sire. He's gone on and won another further 2 champion 2-year-old sire titles. He's the only stallion ever to win titles in both countries. He's sired the winner of the Magic Million and Golden Slipper winners in the same year, and he's done it on 2 consecutive years. He's got Group 1 winners all over the world. He's won 3 Breeders' Cups. He's got Group 1 Open Sprinters. He's won Derbies, Oaks, Doncaster. He's just a very versatile horse. He was a very good racehorse himself, great turn of foot, the sort of things we look for in a stallion. His pedigree by Halo and his female line just mixes so well with the pedigrees we've got here. So he's doing a great job, but there's so much more ahead of this horse. He's got some outstanding mares over the last 3 seasons that'll be coming through onto the tracks. He stands for a fee of 90,000 plus GST this year. Only been here a week, and you see he's a very relaxed horse. Steps off the truck, goes out in the paddock. He's a wonderful horse. The reason he shuttles and handles his workload so easily, super fertile horse and very easy horse to get on with. Next of our proven horses is Testa Rossa. Wonderful racehorse in his time, 6-time Group 1 winner. Imagine a horse at the moment who's just won 6 Group 1s at 2s, 3 and 4. He'd be the hottest property in the country. He's such a consistent horse. He finishes in the top 10 nearly every year, both in earnings and winners. Just last year he clocked up his 500th winner. Winners to runner ratio of over 73%. He's had 46 individual stakes winners, the likes of Hortensia, and also this year he had that talented juvenile, Twilight Royale. Very much a colonial product, Testa Rossa. He's got winners all over the world, in 9 different countries in fact. The trainers have got great respect for Testa Rossas. As a breeder, they sell quite well. They average up over 90,000, 3.5 times his service fee. And they're a very good horse for a young mare. He gets young mares up and going. He's a good sized horse, puts plenty of flesh and bone into them. They come out and they run early and they train right on. They train on as older horses. Testa stands this season for 25,000 plus GST. Our next horse out, another one of our proven brigade, is Mossman. He's certainly one of the country's most consistent sires. Mossman stood up in Queensland in his first 5 years at stud, and he had an average crop of 35 mares each year. And he came down here, he's had the best of opportunities. But from that beginning, he's got 23 individual stakes winners and a winners to runners ratio over 70%. He's good horse buffering. Certainly one of the most unluckiest horses. She'd run so many times second in Group 1 races. However, he did win a Group 2. He won 3 of them this year, as a matter of fact. He also had second effort, a tough little campaign, and won his 4th stakes race in Melbourne last month. He had, of course, I Can win the Coolmore. Love Conquers All was a great stallion and fantastic looking horse. Has now gone to stud. He won over 1.3 million in prize money. He won a Group 1 as a 2-year-old over a mile. He's by Success Express. He was a great, consistent stallion. Sired 9 individual Group 1 winners. He's also well renowned as being one of the best broodmare sires we've seen for some time. Also, Mossman's maternal sire is Twig Moss, who was also regarded as a top-line broodmare sire. So therefore, we've got a lot of confidence in the fact that Mossman will also be a good broodmare sire in his time. The yearlings are well respected and sell well. We've had them sell up to 400,000. He'll stand for 18,000 plus GST this year. Next out is Dubleo, another proven horse. He's a young stallion. He represents great value. He's by Southern Halo. His dam is by Secretariat. Secretariat's a dam sire, some of the best stallions in the world. He's also got a very good female family. She had a number of successful sires. Dubleo's dam is a half-sister to stakes-winning filly Tap Your Heels, who's a dam of America's champion first season sire of 2008 and leading sire in USA this year in Tappet. Dubleo is a very good 2-year-old. He ran 9 times as a 2-year-old. He won 6 of these. 5 of these were on turf. He had about 50 foals on average for the first 3 crops. He's up around an incredible 82% winners to runners. We had the bonny little filly Double Annie. And then there was the group winning Kutamutu, who won the Group 3 Herald Sun Stakes at Flemington. He's also a good export horse. He's got Oriental Taste in Macau. He's a real star over there. And Singapore winners, Black Unicorn and Southern Lucky Star. He'll stand for 5,000 plus GST this year. Next one out is Excites. A Group 1 winner at 2, winning the AJC Sires Produce. He trained on at 3. He ran a close second in the Caulfield Guineas. He's the only sire son of Danewin. Excites' dam is Staging. She would be one of the best race mares of her generation, and she's also got Group 1 winner Duporth and Group 2 winner Group 1 place Tickets. And all 3 sons are now at stud in the Hunter Valley. Excites is also, his half-sister Succeeding is a dam at Deloga Deluxe, who's also at stud in Australia this year. He covered over 100 mares in each of his first crop. They've developed much the same way as he is. He's more of a 3-year-old type. Yet he still gets some talented juveniles. Excites a lady. She won the Group 3 Breeders' Stakes this year. Sweet Serendipity won the 100,000 English 2-year-old challenge at Scone Cup this year. Jason Coyle's talented stayer Scream Machine won the Wagga Cup. He gets a good-looking yearling. They're always quite easy to sell. And offer a service fee of $5,000 plus GST, you can get a good return from this horse. Now the next horse out is one of our sires, about 4-year-olds, and also our new stallion in Casino Prince. Casino Prince is by champion sire Flying Spur. He's out of the exceptional producer, Lady Capel. He was a very talented racehorse himself, Casino Prince. He won 3 times as a 2-year-old, including the Group T Skyline Stakes. As a 3-year-old, he won the Group 3 Alistair Clark Stakes over a mile at Moonee Valley. As a 4-year-old, he won the Group 1 Chippy Norton Stakes over a mile also, defeating Tuesday Joy. He was well supported at stud and certainly made an impact, being crowned champion first season sire in 2011 and 2012. But he didn't stop there. He also won the second season sire. Sire titles are often won by one standout horse, and All Too Hard certainly did contribute to this horse's results, but I'm quite happy for you to take All Too Hard out, and he still wins both first and second season sire titles. In his first crop, obviously he had 4-time Group 1 winner All Too Hard. He also had the Group 1 South Australian Derby winner Escardo, and a number of good stakes winners on their way up, such as Longport. He's a stallion that gets plenty of winners and good types, and again, leaving All Too Hard out with his female line, he's proven that he's got a number of good horses that are competing at the top level. He joins our Rossa. He'll stand for a fee of 20,000 plus GST, and we're looking forward to this horse's future. Next out's Husson, another sire with 4-year-olds and another of our new boys. He's the son of champion sire Husson, who's also sired 28 individual Group 1 winners. They included Australian Horse of the Year Weekend Hustler. He was a great racehorse, Husson. He was undefeated. He's a 3 times Group 1 winner. Won his Group 1s at 2 and 3. He's also champion 2 or 3 miler of his year in his homeland of Argentina. He was imported to Australia to go to stud. Didn't take him long, and he was champion first season sire by winners in 2011-12. They've certainly shown a lot of early form. He had Jesus win the Breeders' Plate. They've gone on as 3-year-olds. We've seen stakes winners like Perron, who's a winner of 6 of her 8 starts so far, and Group 3 winner, Rogue Plate winner, Lucky Hustler. He now has 8 individual stakes winners in a pretty short career. He's got his 2 biggest books in the last 2 seasons, so his future's looking really good, and he's well respected by breeders. He stands for a fee of 15,000 plus GST. It's tough to find proven horses in that $10,000 to $20,000 bracket, and Husson standing this season at 15, and the fact that he's free of Northern Dancer offers breeders a great opportunity. Myboycharlie was the champion French 2-year-old of his year. He was really well supported. His yearlings were really highly regarded. They sold well. He produces consistent types. They're really well balanced runners. He's by a stallion called Dane Time, a son of Danehill. Charlie comes from a family well known in Australia. From a half-sister to Snowdrift, the dam Group 1 winner Snowland and Group winner and place getter, slipper place getter Portillo, and listed winners and successful young stallion Snipperton. He was a great 2-year-old himself. He won the Group 3 Anglesey Stakes at the Curragh by 7 lengths. He then was taken to France. He ran in the Group 1 Prix Mornay over 1,200 metres at Deauville. The Prix Mornay is the French equivalent of our slipper. His first crop of 2-year-olds certainly kept the hype going from his 2-year-old sale results. Charlie Boy, who looks to have returned well after his close second to golf in the trial in Rosehill last weekend, looked great. Charleston, who was group placed in New Zealand, and Dowston Charlie, who was third to Eurozone in the listed ATC Rosebud a couple of weeks ago. Charlie's got 2-year-olds in England and Europe at the moment, and they're going particularly well. He's had 2-year-old winners in France and Ireland and England. His last few years, the best is certainly yet to come with the mares he has and the numbers he received. He's had good books in the last 3 years and had 190 mares booked to him last year, so any mares going to him from here on will be well supported by the runners on the track. Charlie stands for a fee of $15,000 plus GST this year. And here we got Onemorenomore. He's the son of Vinery's foundation sire in Red Ransom. He was a class racehorse. He's got an outstanding pedigree. This horse was the right son of Red Ransom for us to stand. Surprisingly, Onemorenomore started his racing career quite early. His first race was a very close third in the Breeders' Plate. In the autumn, he came back to win the Group 1 Champagne Stakes, defeating informed 2-year-olds Manhattan Rain and Tickets. He's from a fantastic family. His dam Parlier is a group winner, and she's a daughter of leading broodmare sire Last Tycoon. Apart from Onemorenomore, Parlier has produced winners Dr. Green and is a sister to stakes placed Lady Capel. Lady Capel is a dam of Group 1 winner Casino Prince. He was a spectacular looking yearling. He made $800,000 at the Sydney Easter sales, and he certainly transferred his good looks onto his stock. They've been well received in the market, selling up to $300,000. He's had an average of 130 mares every year for his first 3 seasons. He's covered Group 1 winners such as Heavenly Glow, Belmur, Last Chivlotta, La Montagna, Linky Dink, Tully Thunder, Serious Speed, and many more. Onemorenomore will stand for a fee of $12,000 plus GST this year. Next out is Big Brown. Delighted to have this bloke back. He had a year off last year. He injured his hock when he gave the feed tin a bit of a bump over there at Three Chimneys. He descends from the Danzig line. He's an ideal pedigree for here. This guy came out as a 2-year-old on turf, and he won his first race by 11 lengths. They knew they had something a bit special there. They put him away, came back as a 3-year-old, and he won that by 12 lengths. Then they said, we'll try him in a Group 1 Florida Derby, and he won that by 5 lengths. So, of course, they went to the Kentucky Derby with the outside barrier, and he travelled 4 to 5 wide the whole way. He won that by 5 lengths. He then backed up in the Preakness, and he just exploded. He won that just going away and being eased up by 5 lengths. So he pretty well had the Triple Crown at his mercy. Unfortunately, he was pulled up during the race. He caught his hind foot quite badly. And being the tough horse he is, he came back in the Group 1 Haskell Invitation, which he won well. Then they went to another turf race, and he won the Monmouth Stakes before retiring. So he finished his career with 7 wins from 8 starts. He was undefeated on turf and a 4-time Group 1 winner. Obviously, his first crop generated a lot of interest. Sold up to 1.3 million. He had 18 2-year-old winners. There are now 41 winners from that first crop and 4 stakes winners. 3 of these have been on turf. He's got a very promising horse, again owned by Coolmore in Darwin. He won the Group 3 Minstrel Stakes at the Curragh. He's also got stakes winner Bella Cassani, Shades of Sugar, and Brown Almighty. His first crop of yearlings created quite a bit of interest. They've gone into some great stables of Peter Moody and Gay Waterhouse and many more. It's certainly great to have this horse back. There's an enormous future for him. He stands for a fee of $20,000 plus GST this year. And this is Congrats. quite a spectacular animal. Great to look at, but if this horse, these figures do all the talking. He was a Group 2 winner, a good honest racehorse. Got an opportunity to stand in Florida at a modest fee, up against some very well-respected stallions throughout America, including another AP Indy horse called Bernardini and a few others. This horse was crowned champion first season sire in 2010. In his first season, he had 114 live foals. So far, 91 of these have raced, and 80 are winners. That's an 88% winners to runner. 18 stakes winners, including Group 1 winners, Turbulent Descent and Wickedly Perfect, also came from that crop. The early success saw Congrats move from Florida to Kentucky, where in the past 3 seasons, he's covered big books of mares and some of the better mares. His stock of trade on, his daughter Turbulent Descent, who won as a 2-year-old, is backed up in the Group 1 Santa Anita Oaks and the Group 1 Saratoga Test Stakes as a 3-year-old, and then won the Group 1 at Saratoga as a 4-year-old. Congrats is by multiple champion sire in USA and champion sire of sires, AP Indy. The sire line we're very keen to try here. This horse ran on turf, his stock are running on turf, and he brings size and strength and power and a good outcross for a lot of our mares. He's been very popular since he's been here. He's covered 150 and 140 mares over the last 2 seasons. He remains at a fee of $20,000 plus GST. Next out, we have a stallion who got foals this year for the first time. They're just hitting the ground, and that's Pluck. He's by multiple champion sire More Than Ready. He was an outstanding juvenile himself. As you can see, he's a dead spit to his sire, but just with a bit more size and scope. This horse had an incredible turn of foot. He won his first start at Belmont over 1,200 metres, quite impressively. He progressed on to Group Company, he won the Group 3 Summer Stakes at Woodbine over the mile. And it was this race that booked his ticket to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. For anyone who hasn't seen this, it's well worth Googling. He jumped, he fell on his nose, he was tailed off, and then a horse fell in front of him. He had to dive sideways. He ended up somewhere between 12, 15 lengths off them from the back of the field at the turn, weaved his way through, and then he just exploded. He won going away. The race call is quite chilling. Came back as a 3-year-old, looked really exciting. Then he got colic. So he had to be tipped upside down and nearly didn't come through that. So he's had a few setbacks. We didn't get to see him run as a 3-year-old and show what he was capable of doing. Great 2-year-old form. He's got a great pedigree. It's a prolific family. His first 3 dams are all stakes performing mares. Between them, these first 3 dams have produced 25 horses to the races, 22 are individual winners, including 3 Group 1 winners and a South African Horse of the Year. He was really well supported last year. He got 150 mares, some beautiful mares amongst them, getting some great foals. He'll stand for $10,000 this season, plus GST. A great opportunity to get into that More Than Ready line. Now here he is. Great pleasure to present this horse to you, our new stallion, All Too Hard. Of course, he needs a little introduction. He's been a headline horse since he was born, being the half-brother to the greatest sprinter we have seen in Black Caviar. At his first public outing, he topped the Easter sales, selling for $1,025,000. His first start was in the Talon Dirt Stakes down the straight at Flemington, which he won very much like his sister used to do down that straight. Second up, he went into the Group 2 VRC's Produce Stakes, which he won by 4 lengths before they put him on the truck to Sydney. He won the Pago Stakes brilliantly. He was actually favourite for the Golden Slipper, pretty well right up until a few days before the Slipper. But John Hawkes was adamant the horse was nowhere near ready physically. They opted to maybe give him a chance at the size Produce, bypass the Golden Slipper, which they did. He struck Piero in the size Produce. He ran second to him. He then came back as a 3-year-old in Sydney. They started him first up in a very short race. They started him up in 1,100 metres in the San Domenico Stakes. He ran second to the Speed Machine Snitzerland. Then they threw him in the deep end with the older horses, and he ran 4th in the George Main. Set the horse up, took him to Melbourne, set him up to run in the time-honoured and certainly highly respected stallion-making race, the Caulfield Guineas, where he met his old nemesis Piero. The 2 Glamour Colts certainly fought out the finish, and All Too Hard, this time taking the points. He then stepped out into open company, beginning with his incredible run in the Cox Plate, and was run down by Ocean Park on the line. Great effort for a 3-year-old. Piero came 3rd. He came back in the autumn, of the green and white. We ran him in the CF4, which he won against a good field. And then backed up 2 weeks later and we ran in the Group 1 Futurity, which he absolutely dominated the field. Then we were going for the Australian Guineas, which he had at his mercy. He spiked a temperature that morning and had to go out. He was out for 60 days before his next start. The last chance we had was the All-Age Stakes, and he struck a very hot field, and he absolutely belted them. The best was probably yet to come, certainly the eyes of the trainer. But we identified this horse as a stallion to come to Vinery, to be part of the future of Vinery. He's been strongly supported this year. He's got the best of mares, he's got the best of breeders. He's got mares such as Fashions of Field and Bollinger, Midsummer Music, Merger Lisa Lass, She's Mina, Augusta Proud, Champagne Harmony, and the list goes on and on and on. Picked up another mare a couple of days ago, a mare called Maccabi Diva. Going to be a very interesting mating, probably one of the best stayers we've seen of our time. Going to a half-brother to one of the best sprinters we've seen of our time. He stands for 60,000 plus GST in his first season. Now, following on from what's been a bit of a tradition here at our open days was to show the first foals of our latest stallion, and this season that's Pluck. Our first foal was born a week ago. He's out of the Danehill mare in Meritus, creating the same ideal crosses of More Than Ready and Danehill. The other mare is a mare called Miss Rangoon. She's an American mare. She's by Giant's Causeway. She's half-sister to Group 3 winner Spring Meadow. And since being to stud in Australia, she's thrown Platinum Kingdom, the winner of the Group 3 BTC Classic a couple of months ago. Foal was born 3 weeks ago. So we've got a number of other foals that have come in the last few days down there, the young ones. Are really, really pleased with them. And as I said, when Pluck was out, the breeders that have used him locally, that have been in touch and we've seen, they're delighted with him. So he's off to a wonderful start.